Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, good morning to all. And good morning to the honorable resource person present today, Professor Nazrul Islam, Pro Vice Chancellor, Canadian University, and a very warm welcome to all the teaching faculty who have joined us for this AACT sponsored STTP, that is short term training program on emotional intelligence for teaching staff in enhancing the classroom efficiency. So it is that earlier the teaching job was considered as a very convenient job. So we were all following a conventional teaching. So it is just to impart knowledge and then get the results. That was the case. But as the days goes on, the teaching has become so challenging. I agree. It's not that I alone agree for it. All the faculty would agree for it, definitely. So we need to understand the student psychology other than the subject. What is that? More than what they understand about the subject, it becomes necessary for every faculty to understand the students better than our subject knowledge. So this program is oriented with that concept, and I thank our management for helping us to conduct this program. And our regards and special thanks to AACT for being a sponsor for conducting such a wonderful program. And also, I thank our principal, Dr. Raja sir, who couldn't join this session due to some unavoidable official commitments. And on behalf of all of them, I welcome you all. And I extend my warm welcome to Professor Nazrul Islam sir and even coordinators Kavita and Dr. Usha and also the Quick Start Academy who are providing a technical support to us. And I now request Dr. Nazrul Islam sir to inaugurate this STTP. Over to you, sir. Kindly inaugurate it. And we have a virtual inauguration. Over to Quick Start Academy.
Yeah, thank you. Respect.
We have a ribbon cutting, sir. You can just click on.
Yeah. Yeah. Inaugurate.
You can click the screen, sir.
Yeah. You all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for inaugurating it. So now everything has gone in a different platform, but we are very happy to connect with you. So before sir commences his session, a very short introduction about him. I mean, it is a very short introduction about him because sir's profile is long-lasting, a 4 pages resume. So, but I have compiled few. So kindly excuse me if I have missed anything. So we have Professor Nazrul Islam. Sir is now holding a position of Pro Vice Chancellor, Canadian University, Bangladesh. So thank you for joining the session in the midst of your busy schedule and with the time gaps. And he has 25 years of teaching and research experience. And he has been a dean for 10 years in various universities, leading universities. And he has been a peer review committee member for leading peer review committee members for leading journals, and Sir has published more than 57 articles in leading journals, and research papers have been recognized in various forums. And he has been a research guide, and he has been a thesis evaluator for more than 15 theses across the world. And he has been a forum of EI Leadership Forum, and Sir has oriented many conferences, and he is the expert on EI. And what is the most thing of about Nazrul sir is very empathetic about teaching community and also about students. Whenever anyone goes to him for addressing a session or for any advice or conducting a program, sir is ready to extend his hand, and he has been always very down to earth. So when we saw his profile, we were all a little bit panicked how to approach him because he's in such a higher position. How do we approach him? But he was very down to earth, and he was very happy with this topic. He said this is the topic which every teachers must know, and I'm very much happy to give a session on it. So that was a note given by the Professor Nazrul Islam. So, and he has oriented a lot of international conference, and he has been a resource person on different forums, and he has delivered a very eminent session on this emotional intelligence. which I myself was a participant, and he did a very wonderful job. So that is the notable point of Dr. Nazrul Islam, sir. And over to you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining with us.
Shall I start? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Respected Principal, Tagore Engineering College, Professor Dr. L. Raja, Honorable Head of the Department, Department of Management Studies, Tagore Engineering College, Professor Dr. P. Priyadarshini, distinguished faculty members, participants, resource persons, good morning to all of you. In fact, it's an honor and privilege for me to welcome you to this very important training session, faculty development program on emotional intelligence for teaching staff in enhancing efficiency of students, which has been organized by the Department of Management Studies of Tagore Engineering College, Chennai, India. I believe that this three phases program will be very much useful for you. Participants will be very much useful for you in your teaching learning, in your teaching at your work. I am also delighted to welcome all the distinguished participants who are our colleagues who will be attending this 3 days, 3 phases training program on emotional intelligence and the effectiveness in classroom teaching. Dear colleagues, you know that no aspect of education has been more investigated than that of teaching effectiveness in the world. That means that teaching effectiveness was highly researched. That has got higher level of attention of the researchers. During last 50 years, thousands of research studies have attacked this phenomena through teachers' personality and characteristics, teaching methods, students' understanding and growth, and classroom interactions, with its many facets of social, emotional climate, group influence, leadership behavior, verbal behavior, teaching techniques, and of course, teaching strategies. Therefore, effectiveness in teaching and efficiency in classroom teaching is an important aspect of every teacher. Without the efficiency and effectiveness of teaching, a teacher cannot make the class outcome based and cannot be accepted by the learners. Dear participants and colleagues, the objectives for learning can be grouped in 3 domains. You know that cognitive domain, if you have psychomotor domain and affective domain, basically 3 domains of learning. And this cognitive domain has been explained by 6-level taxonomy by Bloom, Benjamin S. Bloom and his associates. 6-level taxonomy, cognitive domain learning, from lowest level knowledge, that means memorizing, to more complex intellectual levels like comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and the last one is creating as the most complex learning activity that can be performed to show one's learning mastery. That means these are the basically domains of learning, and we are teaching, we are working in teaching learning environment. That means we are disseminating knowledge, and we also must be careful and serious about the outcome of our teaching, about the result of our delivery and teaching. So if you look at these 3 domains in detail, then you will see that cognitive domain basically is nothing but the belief segment or thinking segment. This segment receives higher level of attention in the academia, in instructional programs, and it includes objectives related knowledge basically, or information. For example, naming, solving, predicting, and other intellectual aspects of learning. That means thinking part or a belief segment, cognitive part. That is one thing we we shall have to keep our mind in learning. And the second domain is the psychomotor domain. It includes physical movement or coordination and use of motor skills areas. Development of these skills require practice. Practice is needed. That means, and it is measured in terms of speed, precision, distance, procedures, or techniques in execution. Therefore, psychomotor behaviors are easier to observe, easier to describe, and easier to measure than cognitive or affective domain of learning, because it is concerned with doing segment. And the third domain of learning is the affective domain, that is concerned with feeling or emotion segment or feeling segment of the human being. It encompasses attitudes, it encompasses appreciations, values, and emotions. Although highly important in education, but the hardest to assess the student regarding this affective part. This domain includes the manner in which we deal with things emotionally, such as feelings, values, appreciation, enthusiasms, motivations, and of course, attitudes. The levels of affective domain form a continuum from simple awareness and acceptance to internalization. That means these are basically the major learning domains. That means thinking, feeling, and doing. These are basically three segments. Now, dear colleagues, along with these learning domains, you know that IQ and EQ, these are also built in here, have also significant influence on teaching learning process. And we are not basically conscious, and we do not focus on these two things. So in recent years, these are emphasized in academia, these are emphasized by the researchers. And as far as IQ is concerned, it is basically the intelligent quotient. And it is a measure of person's reasoning ability. How does a person reason, make the reasoning of a particular event or particular thing? Reasoning ability, basically, and that's what we call IQ. And it is supposed to test how well someone can use information and logic to answer questions or make predictions. So IQ tests begin to assess this by measuring short and long-term memory of the learners. So IQ tests addresses one's overall verbal and non-verbal abilities. So this is IQ, and you know that there are literally, IQ has got some 4 areas like verbal comprehension, then perceptual reasoning, working memory.
Sir, Sir Nazrul, sir, you
Yeah,
have gone on mute.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank
Is it
you.
okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So IQ has got 4 components like verbal comprehension, then perceptual reasoning, working memory, and processing speed. These 4 are basically aspects of IQ. So if you look at the verbal comprehension is the ability to understand a spoken language. That means comprehension ability, it encompasses reading, writing, and communication skills of the individual. So the vocabulary subtest focuses on the individual's verbal fluency, word knowledge, and the usage. That means the verbal comprehension is also used as one of the component of IQ. So when we see the IQ of our students, we can check with this component whether these are present among the students or not. And of course, the higher level of IQ will help the student to go faster. And the second component is the perceptual reasoning. That means it is the ability to think and reason by using pictures, visual information. It is the ability to see what is being asked and to understand and respond and to organize information in one's head through images by using image. So perceptual reasoning assesses the ability to mentally manipulate 3D objects and solve spatial problems. It is more of an abstract cognitive ability and addresses the skill of being able to think through the problem and visualize the mind. So the ability to analyze and synthesize information impacts perceptual reasoning skills. So this is also a component of IQ, intelligent quotient. And the third component is the working memory. That means it is a cognitive system and with a limited capacity that can hold information temporarily among the individuals, which requires both the ability to remember and the ability to process the information. That means processing and remembering. Both are required for working memory. The mathematical components address not only the ability to perform basic mathematics, but the ability to apply the information and calculate the problem. So this is the third component of IQ. And the fourth component is the processing speed. How quickly an individual can process the information. That means it assesses the speed at which an individual processes information and the ability to react to the information. Therefore, processing speed is the pace at which you take in information, make sense of it, and begin to respond. So this information can be visual, like letters and numbers, or be auditory, like a spoken language. Some people have faster processing speed than others who have higher level of IQ. So IQ is also an important phenomena in teaching learning process that we as faculty members should consider. And if the student has lower level of IQ, then we should help them or mentor them, give extra effort to improve their IQ. So dear colleagues, our experience shows that every student can learn. That is true, no matter how intelligent he or she is. But some students struggle to learn because of the weakness in one specific area of intelligence. These students often benefit from special education program. That means extra tutoring or extra program. From there, they get extra help in the areas where they are struggling. So IQ test can help us or teachers figure out which students would benefit from the extra help or from the extra effort given by the faculty member. IQ test can predict how well students will do in particular situations, such as thinking abstractly in science, engineering, or art, or leading teams at work. But there is more to the story. Extraordinary achievement not only depends on IQ, also depends on many things. And those extra categories include ambition, persistence, opportunity, the ability to think clearly, even sometimes luck. So dear colleagues, along with other aspects, IQ and other aspects related to learning, the domains, in teaching learning process, emotional intelligence or emotional quotient got emphasized by the researchers, by the academia in recent days, for making the teaching learning process more effective and for better understandable to the learners, to our students. Literally, emotional intelligence is nothing but the ability to understand, use, and manage our own emotions in positive ways, to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. You know, research shows that an individual in a day expresses about 3,000 expressions he does, an individual, he or she. And in these 3,000 expressions, more than 2,000 are negative expressions and 1,000 positive expressions. So these negative expressions are harmful for the individual. Therefore, how these negative impressions can be made positive, and it can be converted into positive expressions by managing our emotions, by establishing control over the emotions. So, emotional intelligence helps build stronger relationships, succeed at work, and achieve our career and personal goals. It can also help us to connect with our own feelings. It can help us to connect our own feelings. What about our feelings? Turn intention into action and make informed decision about what matters most to us. So literally, emotional intelligence is commonly defined by 4 or 5 attributes, such as self-awareness, self-monitoring, self-motivation, empathy, and social skills. Now I will give a little details on these 4 or 5 attributes of emotional intelligence. Now the first component of emotional intelligence is self-management. And it means that you are able to control spontaneous feelings and behaviors. You are able to manage your emotions in healthy ways, manage your emotions in healthy ways, in positive ways. You are able to take initiative. You are able to follow through on commitments, and you are able to adapt to changing circumstances. That's what we call as self-management. The second component is self-awareness. It means that you recognize your own emotions. Well, sometimes we do not even recognize our emotions, but it is said here that if the person is emotionally intelligent, that person will always recognize his or her emotions and always analyze how they affect their thoughts and behaviors. And if you are self-aware, then you will be able to know your strengths and weaknesses, and you will have your self-confidence. That is self-awareness, the second component of emotional intelligence. Third component is social awareness, means you have empathy. That means you can understand the emotions, needs, and concerns of other people. Not only your needs, not only your emotions, not only your concerns. You also can think from the other's positions, from the other position, or from the other side, and and concerns of other people, and pick up on emotional indications, feel comfortable socially, and recognize the power of dynamics in a group or organization. That is social awareness. That means that you know how to, you understand the society, you understand the situation, you understand the environment, and then you can act accordingly. And the last, the fourth one is the relationship management. Means you know how to develop and maintain good relationships with others, communicate clearly with others, inspire and influence others, respect others' feelings, and work well in team and manage conflict. So the emotion, if one can manage himself, or he is aware of his weaknesses and his emotions or strengths, socially aware, and is able to develop a relationship with others, and then now we can say that this person has got higher level of emotional intelligence. Therefore, emotional intelligence has an effect on a lot of things of our daily life, such as our performance at work. It has affected by emotional intelligence, because high emotional intelligence can help you navigate the social complexities of the workplace and lead and motivate others and excel in your career. So our performance at work is influenced by emotional intelligence. Our physical health also is influenced by emotional intelligence. If you are unable to manage your emotions, you are probably not managing your stress either. So this can lead to serious health problems. So uncontrolled stress raises blood pressure, suppresses the immune system, increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes, and contributes to infertility and speeds up the aging process. So our physical health also is influenced by this emotional intelligence. Also, our mental health is influenced by emotional intelligence. Uncontrolled emotions and stresses can also impact our mental health, making you vulnerable to anxiety and depression. So if you are unable to understand, get comfortable with, or manage your emotions, you will also struggle to form strong relationships. This in turn can leave you feeling lonely and isolated, and further exacerbated by mental health problems. And another impact of emotional intelligence is on our relationships with others. By understanding your emotions and how to control them, you are better able to express how you feel and understand others, how others are feeling. So this allows you to communicate more effectively and force stronger relationships both at work and your personal life. So another area which is affected or impacted by this emotional intelligence is our social intelligence. Being in tune with your emotions serves a social purpose, connecting you to other people and the world around you. Social intelligence enables us to recognize friend from foe, measure another person's interest in you, and reduce stress, balance your nervous system through social communication, and feel loved and happy. So that this emotional intelligence has a very strong impact on our daily life, on our life at work or working life. Therefore, we all must know the consequences and of this emotion, and the harmful impact of being emotional. So if we can control the emotion, then definitely we will have some advantages. We will be at our work and we will be comfortable at work. So dear colleagues, as you know, it is not the smartest people who are the most successful or the most fulfilled in life. You may probably know people who are academically brilliant, but now unsuccessful at work or in their personal relationships or lives. Their intellectual ability or intelligence IQ was not enough on its own to achieve success in their lives. That means their IQ were very high at that time when they studied. They were brilliant and they could understand the thing easily, but that was not enough for them to become successful in their life. Your higher level of IQ can help you to get into, for example, college or to start a good job. But it is your EQ that can help you to manage your stresses and emotions when you face problems at work, and it will help you to become successful. So research shows that it is not the IQ, it is the EQ or EI that can help someone to become successful. Therefore, both IQ and EQ both can help us to get into the job or to start a good job, and both are important for being effective at work. So we can say that IQ and EQ exist in a cycle and are most effective when they build up one another. So success is not only the function of IQ, we can say success is the function of EQ and IQ both. That means we must have higher level of IQ, and of course we must have higher level of EQ. So dear distinguished participants, you are all leaders, mentors, advisors, motivators in the teaching learning process, and I am fully confident that your knowledge, experience and expertise will provide important insights on understanding and managing emotions of the learners after this long training program. So with this, I would like to conclude by again thanking the college authority who has honored me, in particular Professor Dr. P. Priyadarshini, by inviting me at the opening session of the Teachers Training Program of Tagore Engineering College. Dear participants, I wish you a very successful training program on emotional intelligence and effectiveness in classroom teaching. Thank you all. Now, if you have any question, then I can address the question.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session, sir. So, participants, do you have any questions? Participants, if you have any queries, please you can ask, sir. So,
Ma'am, my name is Anand. I'm working
yes, sir.
in School of Management in Beltech University, Avadi. So, is there any books on this, specific books which we can read to improve our knowledge on this area? Because I haven't seen anything so far.
Professor Priyadarshini can answer.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, actually, your question is whether you want to know whether any book on EQ.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So you can work on with Daniel Goleman books. He is known as father of this EQ. He's like a guru of EQ.
Okay, ma'am.
So,
Daniel Goldman.
Daniel Goleman.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So you can look on into his books.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a nice session, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, one of the participants have posted, I'll just read it, sir. So, as a professor, how can we cope up with the mindset of the students during remote teaching? So, this was a question posted by Dr. Ram Prabha.
Yes, that's a good question. Yeah, remote teaching. It's a very difficult question. Perhaps it has not yet identified through research, because this COVID situation has been developed, it was developed recently. So how to make this online and remote teaching effective is very difficult, and how to read the mindset of the students is again another difficult job. Anyway, perhaps after understanding the basics of emotional intelligence, which has been suggested by Daniel Goleman, or just mentioned by Professor Priyadarshini in 90s. So you will have a kind of basic idea, and I'm sure that after that you yourself will be able to understand how to read the mindset of the students who are learning online or from remote. Thank you.
There is a question whether any measurement tools
Hello?
for EI. Sir, they have asked a question whether there is a measurement tool for EI.
Yeah, you know, emotional intelligence has got five components, like self-awareness, self-monitoring, self-motivation, empathy, and social skills. These are basically, you can say, measurement scale. You can check whether you are self-managed, or whether you are monitoring your awareness or the emotions, then whether you empathize to others, whether you have social skills. So you can check, anyone can check. These are the basically measurement criteria, the components of this emotional intelligence.
And I would also, with your permission, I'd like to add on, sir. Your person has shared a link. See, there are a lot of trait assessment questionnaire, and even Daniel Goleman has designed a questionnaire. So you can just, for initial preliminary EI check, we can go on with these questionnaire, and like you can get to know what is your level of quadrant, which quadrant you are strong and which quadrant you are weak. You can go as like Professor Sir said. So you can go with a trait. There is a questionnaire called as trait EI measurement questionnaire. If any of you are interested, you can go on. And we have designed this ACT session. Like, in the second session, you will be able to get to know what is the dimension of EI and how to assess and what are all the tools to assess. So that will be explained in your phase 2. And this phase 1 is all about like understanding the basic concepts of EI and like what is a classroom efficiency. So that is what is that Nazrul sir has addressed. Yeah, sir has addressed on the importance of IQ and how a teacher should possess it for the classroom, and importance of EQ and how you should integrate both IQ and EQ in the classroom. So that was a very wonderful session, sir. Thank you, sir.
So
Any other
participants,
questions?
any other questions?
Hello.
Myself. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Myself.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dr. Anbalagan,
Yes, please, sir.
Gens faculty, and I'm from Alagappa University.
Okay, sir.
Yes, so who was popularly approached for emotional intelligence? Ma'am? Because I have a little bit knowledge about emotional intelligence. Because Daniel Goleman, he is popularly approached for that. But initially, that was approach was Salovey and Mayer, year of 1990, according to them, emotional intelligence, which is rooted from social intelligence, would be applied to emotional problem in social situations. Yes, sir rightly pointed out. Several components influences for emotional intelligence. Yes, sir. The empathy, self-motivation, self-awareness. Yes, I know, sir. But hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you please repeat your question, sir?
My question is, who was popularly approached? Present, ma'am. Yes, I know, ma'am. Daniel Goleman is popularly approached. Recent, anyone?
You mean you want to know like who are the present
Popular, any other
pioneers?
Yes, other pioneer. Daniel Goleman, yes, I know. He's the father of emotional intelligence. I know. Popularly approached. Any other?
So he's asking any other people who are pioneers of emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because which was initially initiated was Salovey and Mayer, year of 1990. Yes. After that, Daniel Goleman, that and any other author.
Sir.
Okay, when it was introduced, but it at that time it was not became popular. People could not understand what is this. But nowadays, a lot of people are conducting research on this after Daniel Goleman's that means introduction to this theory to the public. But it's very difficult to say very specific who specifically, but nowadays almost all universities, the higher education institutes, they are thinking about this emotional segment at work, emotional segment in teaching learning process. Because if you think about talk about the South Asian people, then you will see emotion matters. Emotion, we are by default, I can say that emotional. So, and that is harmful. That is creating problem at work. That is creating problem in classroom. And how to control this emotion, how to establish control, how to manage this emotion, how to address this emotion. It is both end. From you as a speaker or teacher, you have emotion. On the other side, the learners, they are also emotional. So how to come up with a balance that can help us to understand better, or we can become more productive or more output based in this teaching learning process in academia. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. As sir said, the pioneer is definitely there is no one to beat Daniel Goleman.
Yes,
If you
ma'am.
just
Yes,
get
ma'am.
into the reviews of people who have worked on with EI, next to Daniel Coleman, it was Peter Salovey who has worked on with EI dimensions, but not
Yes.
such deep into the extent of Daniel Goleman. As
Yes,
like how sir said, there are a
yes,
lot of people. Yeah.
according to other,
As,
the Baron also one of the popularly approached year of
yes, but he has
2000.
worked on after along with Daniel Goleman in other dimensions. But there
Yes.
are no other like people who could be called as a pioneers. If you could go get into the reviews of EI, we can always find the majority. That is, the pioneer is the one who has keyed on with the concept. So the other people asked like how Professor Nazrul Islam sir said, like they have added on few more points like how we can work on it, how to improve it, and there are books by Andrews. That is also a very good book. So that, but no book or no other concepts can beat Daniel Goleman. That's why we call him as like guru of EI.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Also, the popular dimensions: the self-awareness, empathy,
Yes.
self-motivation, emotional stability, managing relations, integrity, self-development. Yes, I know. There are several dimensions. Also, the altruistic behavior and commitment, value orientations. These are the popular approach.
Yeah, definitely.
Popular. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Daniel Goleman, I know, ma'am.
Yes,
Very
sir.
popular.
No, you asked like who are the other pioneers means there is no one like to that extent. So even there was another book on EI 2.0 that was released by Gene Grievous, but
Yes.
even that book didn't had much impact as like of the Daniel Goleman introduction book.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
was
But reason
released
is
in the version of EI 2.0.
yes, ma'am. Yes. But frequently, whether a research scholar or students, MBA students, whoever, they're choosing the topic EI. Yes, the same components they are used.
Yes.
What alternative? Yes, that's why I'm asking the question. So, anyone approached popular? Anyone framing a new components? That's why I'm
No,
asking.
sir.
Yes.
So we,
Thank you.
you can have these other further questions also on the depth of EI in your second phase of our SPTC, where we can
Okay.
discuss in much depth of EI components.
Okay, fine, ma'am. Okay, fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for a very nice question,
Yes, ma'am.
which
Yes,
is a triggering question. Thank you.
yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So any other questions, participants?
Madam, I am
If
Dr.
you have any-
Vasudevan from. Hello,
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
I am Dr. R. Vasudevan from Ishwar Engineering College, Chennai.
Yes, sir. You can ask
I am
questions, sir.
having a question: how to control your emotion during the stressful situation? During the stressful situation by one.
Yeah, that's the challenge. You know, you may have mechanism, you may know how to control, but you may not be able to control.
Yes.
That's the issue. That's the issue. That is why we are discussing. That is why this is this workshop. It's very difficult job, challenging. we are unable to control. In fact, we know the mechanisms. We know that these are the ways by which I can be positive. I can remain positive. I can make relationships with others and this and that. But when we act, at that time we see that emotion is not under our control. It becomes beyond it goes beyond our controls. It happens. So it's
Because
not
under the situation,
difficult, very
yes, we
difficult.
may not be knowing what actually they are doing.
Yeah. Thank you. But you know, it is, you know, you will see the observation shows that the senior people are more seasoned. Their emotions are more controlled, better controlled. Why? Because they have the experience. They were seasoned. But if you, when they become senior, like 50 years or 60 years, at that time they become, their emotions come under control. But think about it, if a lecturer does know right now that, yes, these are the mechanisms, this is how he or she can control her emotion or his emotion, then he or she can do better at work. Then he will become successful when he will be at the age of 50 or 60. You understand what I mean?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Professor Priyadarshini, you did
Thank
your,
you very much, sir.
yeah, you did your PhD. I know that on emotional intelligence. I'm sure that she is one of the top experts and researchers on this subject. Professor Priyadarshini, you can share what are the mechanisms
Yes, sir.
to control stress.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So thank you for hearing it from you, sir. So thank you. But no one can, as like sir said, like we can never become an expert. From like whatever it is, the dimensions for improvement. How do you improve EI is by understanding the four quadrants in a better way. So like it is that first when you understand what is your self awareness, you get to know what is your strength and weakness. So you ask me a question, how do you control the anger? Okay. So when you are very much strong with your self awareness, you get to know like whether you are what is your level of temperament, whether you have a high temperament or whether you have a low temperament. So when you are very much clear about your self awareness, and when you have the alarm ringing in you, so my temperament is very high, you get to know how do you control it when it comes to the quadrant of 4, that is the social awareness, when how you have to interact with the people. So that is where that is explained in this 4 dimensions. So where everything goes with the one level of understanding to the next level of understanding. So when you know that your temperament is something very high, and also when you know that you are not able to control it in the situation, then if you could understand what is the empathy of others, and you turn out to be like very, you try to smoothen it in your 4th quadrant, that is your social awareness, your relationship management, where automatically your alarm bell rings. Okay, I'm a short temperament, I should not spoil the relationship with that person, so I should be in a calm way, and that's where the anger on its own it gets down. So that is how this quadrant of EI works out. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, yeah. I would like to add with you a few things, as you know, when you do anything like we are teaching in a class, basically three things are involved with this teaching learning process. What is it? One is me, that means people, he, and other part is students, that means learner, that means human resource. Human being is one thing. Second thing is the physical resources, physical issue, classroom, multimedia, and so on and so forth. And the third thing is the methods and techniques and the functional things. That means expertise and other things. So basically, the emotional intelligence will address the emotions of the people segment only, not the physical segment or not the methods or expertise or other things. Those segments are not addressed in emotional intelligence. Those are other part of this teaching learning process. But those parts also must be fit or must be good at the supportive at the time of teaching, at the time at the in teaching learning process. For example, if the person who is delivering the lecture, he has not much idea about the subject, then again that will create the problem with the learners. They may become emotional, or they may have a different idea about the speakers. Similarly, if your multimedia and physical things do not work, then again there will be a emotional issue. emotional issue from the speaker's part, from the learner's part. Yes, this problem, so irritating, this, that. You see, but if in these three components, if you can manage this emotion segment, your part and the other part, empathy, what we call the learner's part, then the other things perhaps will be automatically little bit controlled, and then the productivity or the outcome will be higher, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, participants. It was wonderful questions. So I hope you have enjoyed the session. So we'll meet by 4 p.m. in the afternoon session. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Nasrul, sir.
Yeah,
It was really a wonderful session, sir.
Yeah, thank you too. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
I am leaving.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
for your time, sir. We know it's a very busy day and you managed to plan the time for it, sir. Really a heartfelt thanks to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for inviting me and sharing my thoughts with these distinguished professors of Chennai and who are associated with this teaching learning process at the tertiary level. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Professor, on behalf of Vailtech University from Avadi. It was a great learning from you, Professor. Thank you. Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, participants, as per AICTE norms, a couple of questions will be asked at this end of the session as a feedback. So please kindly fill the form. So we'll meet in the afternoon session sharp by 4 p.m. So thank you. Thank you for all. We'll leave the meeting.
So some of you have asked for the feedback. It has been shared already in the chat session. Kanan sir, Shyam, Dr. Shyam, it is shared in your chat session.
I'm sorry for the interruption.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, could you please send us the schedule for the next 5 days, madam, in the WhatsApp group, madam, so that we can plan accordingly. Meanwhile, we'll be having classes, right, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Because we will need it as we need to plan our lectures also simultaneously.
Yes, sure.
Please share.
We have already have shared the poster, but once again we'll share it.
Yeah,
Ma'am, poster, it has only titles, ma'am. We need the timings with schedule, ma'am.
No, every day it is 11 to 12 in the morning and evening it is 4 to 5.
4 to 5.
Yes, sir.
All day it will be followed in the same timing, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
11 to 12 in the morning, 4 to 5 in the evening. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
so
sir.
Don't have any
Thank you.
changes. So if there is any changes, we will mention it in a day prior in the group.
Ma'am, please add me in the WhatsApp group, ma'am. Not there in the WhatsApp group.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Should I share my number with you?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. I'll put it in the chat box.
Yeah, please, ma'am.
Okay.
Your good name, ma'am?
Ruby, ma'am. Ruby Evangeline.
Oh, sure. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the schedule for tomorrow, the 4 days topics are also given in the
Poster.
Poster, and will it be there in the WhatsApp too, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
We'll post it, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Pleasure, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Well organized, ma'am.
Oh, thank you,
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining.
Deenu, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
It was all well hosted. Very good, Priya, ma'am. It was well organized, Priya, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
As usual, tech has been rocking.
We still miss you in the tech.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Thank you.
Kavita has taken the seat.
It is, she's in a different street, but no one can replace you, ma'am.
Honored.
ma'am, true.
Honored. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I'll meet in the afternoon session, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
4 o'clock. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Bye,
you,
bye,
ma'am.
Kavita,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.